Hey y'all, it's Rick here with Uncommon Communion. Happy Monday. It is the third week of Lent. Believe it or not, we have 3 weeks until Holy Week. So, 3 weeks from today, we will be in the last segment of Lent. And looking at the calendar, we're about almost halfway through. So, time flies, right? Well, time has flown by on this Sunday as I record this for Monday. Again, I'd hoped to write, thought I'd have some time today, but it has been a full one. And had a really good conversation with a sponsee this evening, and he really needed to talk and get some support. And I feel good that I spent my time that I probably would have been writing here, offering support and, quite frankly, ministry to him. So I appreciate your patience with a video or an audio as you pick that up rather than a written post, which, as I say, hopefully will be tomorrow. I am expecting a quieter week work wise, so hoping to not be whooped at the end of the day this coming week. All right, y'all. Let's begin as we always begin, recognizing, realizing, leaning into the reality that we are always and everywhere in the holy presence of the more and each other. Well, what can we say about current events? I mean, I can rant and rave and yell and scream, and it's just yelling and screaming into the wind, really. You know, there are things that we can do. I hope to call my senators again tomorrow, my Republican senators, and tell them that this is unacceptable and to do something and to put pressure on T-Rump to stop this war. And you know, the thing is, he can. I was just listening to a podcast from The Bulwark just a few minutes before I came on here. And, you know, the two commentators there, Tim and JVL, for those of you that are familiar with that independent media outlet, The Bulwark, um, they were both just astounded that T Rump is doubling down on this because they were watching in real time oil prices, oil futures going up to 110-ish dollars a barrel. And this is an incredible spike. And I don't know about you, but gas prices that where I live have been going up, and we're going to just see more and more of that. And what they were talking about, and I think the thing that is so staggering is just how dumb all of this is, right? How dumb this is, how insane T Rump is, and the people around him, and the cruelty. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And you know, at the end of the day, y'all, America wanted this, right? About a third of Americans, a little over a third of Americans, it seems in polls, are really ride or die with this leader, this fascist dictator. And they are willing to go down with him regardless of what it does to their pocketbooks, regardless of what it does to their health, regardless of what it does to their health care, whatever it might be. They're just willing to ride or die with this insane tyrant. Now, the problem is that Congress has gone along with this. You know, the GOP's, the guardians of pedophilia, pedophiles, continue to just let this happen. And y'all, this is where we are. Midterm elections are 240 days away. And every single day we need to pay attention to the candidates who are running. We need to prepare ourselves to be able to vote in the primaries wherever you live. Here in Ohio, that's coming up on May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo. I've already signed up to work, and I'm looking forward to that. Work the polls on that day, something I take great pride and pleasure and satisfaction in doing. And I encourage you to as well. If you live somewhere that's available for you and you have flexibility to take a day off of work, or it's an experience unlike any other. You know, there are a few things in my life that I have done that are that singular. And it is. It really is. So again, y'all, this is where we are. We pray for peace. We pray for cooler heads and calmer heads, and pray that it doesn't get worse. I mean, terrorist attacks are possible, oil prices, stock market crashes. I mean, it just, the list goes on and on. What I do, though, and what I imagine you are hopefully doing as well in these times, is lean into those closest to me, lean into my communities, my church community, my household with my wife and my dog and my own children, who are adult children at this point, to my recovery group and so forth. Lean into those folks, because that's where we gain strength. That's where we are connected. And it is from there, I believe, we will have to move forward, right? To stop the worst of this, to vote in 240 days, and to do everything that it takes to build a better country, a more just, a more caring, a more empathetic, country. So enough about that. I'm tired and just tired of this. But we're on a journey through the Psalms. We're on a journey through Lent. And Psalm 68 is where we find ourselves. And it's a long one, so I'm not going to read the whole psalm to you. I just want to read the first few verses, because I really was struck by one of these verses, especially in light of the gospel that we had for Sunday. You probably heard it if you worshiped, the woman at the well, and Jesus talking about living water and slaking thirst. I mean, just really wonderful images that we had. So here is Psalm 68. I'm only going to read up to verse 7. You can see the rest of it, the long rest of it below. When the Great Spirit rises, his enemies scatter, and those who hate him turn tail and run. His breath blows, and the bad-hearted fade away like smoke in the wind. They will melt like ice before Creator, and their lives will pass from this world. But the upright in heart will be glad. They will shout for joy and dance before the Great Spirit. Singers sing songs in honor of his name. Lift high your voices to the one who rides on the clouds. Grandfather is the name of the one we honor and lift high. From his sacred place in the world above, he is a father to the fatherless and a defender of women who have lost their husbands. Creator places the homeless into families. He sets prisoners free and leads them into harmony and well-being. Only the stubborn-hearted remain in a dry, thirsty, and sun-scorched land. Creator, you guided your people on a long walk through the desert wilderness. Yeah, I was struck by that verse 6, the second to last verse there. And again, in light of living water and Moses in the desert, as we heard in the first liturgical reading on Sunday, striking the rock with his, magic staff, I guess, his God ordained, his holy staff. And that reminder in the psalm, you guided your people on a long walk through the desert wilderness. Boy, this feels like the wilderness, y'all, especially if you are a person like myself, and I imagine like you are, listener and watcher, that cares about democracy, that cares about other human beings, that cares about the environment and the creatures that we share this planet with, to just see this wilderness, this dry, desolate time. And yeah, that's where we are. But we hear in the verse, Creator sets prisoners free and leads them into harmony and well-being. So that's what we pray for. That's what we hope for. That's what we set our eyes and ears and hopes on. All right, y'all, I want to wrap up with a prayer from a source that I don't use on here very often. I do try to read it every day. It is a daily prayer from the Corey Mila. And this is just a really beautiful, short little prayer. God of reconciliation, you demand so much of us, inviting us to tell truths by turning towards each other. May we leave our trinkets where they belong and find our treasure turning towards each other, by turning towards each other, because you needed this, because we all need this. Yeah, let's leave our trivialities and our trinkets and our idols and those false little gods, and turn towards the living, breathing creator. Creator sets free, right? And find the living water that he offers. All right, y'all. Blessing and good. Be bold, be well. Hold fast, y'all.